Firm.
Fair.
Fun.
The Rob Snow Show returns
On Rogers TV and City News 101.1 FM.
and 1310 AM.
So we learned last week that India is going to be sending vaccine doses to Canada. 2 million doses of the Indian Covishield vaccine, and it's thanks to something called the Serum Institute of India. So we're going to actually speak about, in a more broad sense now, the overall, the Indo-Canadian relationship right now. Vijay Singh joins me from the Indo-Canadian. Oh, I'm sorry, Vijay Singh. I even wrote that down here on my script, Vijay Singh. I'm so terribly sorry. Vijay Thomas joins me now, from the Indo-Canadian Chamber of Commerce. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Rob. And I get that all the time.
You get that all the time.
Yeah, Vijay Singh is, my namesake, more popular than me, golfer. He's not to be seen a lot nowadays, but absolutely.
I feel so silly, sir. I feel so silly. It's just
No,
it just rolls off the tongue. I'm so.
I have considered changing my name.
Well, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you're very gracious. Thank you so much. Look, I would like to ask you, because I do follow this with great interest, the Canada-India relationship, for a number of reasons. It's very important, first of all. There are 1.3 million people of Indian descent living in Canada right now. We share a tremendous history, both Commonwealth countries, both democracies as well. So there's a lot on the line. There's a lot of opportunity there, but it seems to me in recent years the relationship is kind of soured. And I would like to know your overall impressions of it, sir.
Yeah, and Rob, thank you very much for having me on the show. I wouldn't use the word soured as much, but there've been headwinds for sure. And I think there've been some irritants in the process, but I think the number is even more than 1.3. I think depending on who you talk to, it's almost 2 million people in Canada. So and in the GTA, it's almost touching up to 1 million itself. So it's a huge Indo-Canadian population in Canada. So which means people-to-people ties are very strong. So the foundations are very good in terms of this relationship to really prosper and do well. So as you said, there were some headwinds, but I think right now with the Serum Institute, the vaccine, there's almost talk of people calling this vaccine diplomacy. I am a strong believer that this could be the start of a change in the tone of the relationship. And as long as we stick to trade, we stick to the positives and look at it from a glass half full perspective. And if all sides, I think all sides do want to make this work, and I think we can make it work. So and I think there's huge potential for both sides to make this work, especially for Canada. I think India is one of the larger economies that is also growing at a fast pace. So if we're looking for markets for our goods, if you're looking for places to export our technology, I think there's no better place than India, and especially given the people-to-people ties, given the fact that English is the language that's most widely spoken in India. So it's easy to get in and do business in India rather than some of the other places where you could potentially also go to. But yeah.
Plus, there's lots of talk about the future of the Canada-China relationship, and a lot of Canadians are questioning should the country pivot away from having such close economic ties with a country like China, and maybe that increases the prominence and importance of the Indian relationship. What do you think, Mr. Thomas?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to specifically comment on the Canada-China thing, but I think as an investor, I mean, I personally invest in stocks, and if you're a business person, and the same way if you're a country, I think you would want to dive your bets, right? You'd want to hedge your bets. You'd want to make sure that you're doing business with as many countries as possible, because as we've seen with the Canada-U.S. relationship, U.S. was our biggest partner, and then we had some headwinds in that relationship for the last 4 years, and then when that happens, we shouldn't be scrambling to go and diversify, right? If we were already diversified, we probably wouldn't have had as much hiccups, or we wouldn't have been as afraid or worried. With the U.S. relationship as well. So I think it's a best practice. I think it's great for the country to be able to diversify, and India, I think, provides an opportunity, and I think there is a lot of goodwill on all sides, right? I mean, and right. I will say this, that believe it or not, Canada provided penicillin to India 50 years back. Right? It's almost as if the world's come a whole circle.
Right.
And now we've got COVID-19 vaccines coming back from India to Canada. And India as well, a lot of the Indian nuclear reactors were all built on Canadian can-do things, so technology. A lot of the Indian, but their subway systems are built on Bombardier trains. So Canada and India, I think, go a very, very long way back together, and I think it's something that we should work towards. It's a relationship that has to be nurtured, and I think people need to make sure that not take it for granted as well. But everybody working in the corridor should work hard to make it work.
So on Friday, this news hits. Canada will receive 2 doses of the Covishield vaccine, which is basically the AstraZeneca vaccine. Serum Institute of India. What do you know about that place?
So Serum Institute of India is probably the biggest vaccine manufacturer in the world that nobody knows of.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Is it owned by the government, sir, or is it government run? Or
no, it is not government run. It's run by a family, the Poonawalla family. So they run it. So it's a private. It's not run by the government. So they are the largest manufacturer of vaccines in the world in terms of in not in dollar terms, but in number of vaccines. And It's not just COVID-19, but all the other vaccines as well that the world uses. In every part of the world, from Africa to everywhere. I mean, a lot of it is manufactured in India, and the Serum Institute is the largest manufacturer. So in that sense, it seems natural for Canada to have gone to India, being the largest manufacturer of vaccines, to have done that. I mean, and I think India is supplying those vaccines to other countries as well. There's a little bit of vaccine diplomacy going along, where India is also providing it for free to some countries. With Canada, from what I have heard, it is not free, but we're actually paying for it. So,
well, there was fear about vaccine nationalism, and would that come back to bite Canada, and would we be able to rely on a country, if it came to it, like India, to actually provide vaccine? Right. So, so it's a positive development, and you think? Do you think that signals a marked improvement in our relations right now between these two countries? The fact that this announcement could be made on Friday of last week, sir?
Absolutely. I think this is, and on Friday of last week is when the actual, the 2 million doses, but I think it was 2 weeks back, even 2 weeks before that Trudeau called up Prime Minister Modi, and they had a good conversation, and I think they made the commitment to provide it. But on Friday, so I think it's already like 2 weeks. But I think since then, there's a marked difference in tenor. There is, I think, and I think it's now up to business people. It's up to us at the Indo-Canada Chamber of Commerce. We're making sure that we leave no stone unturned to build on this momentum and make sure that this not just, it transcends the vaccine and goes to other aspects of trade as well. So we definitely believe that this is like a rising tide floats all boats. So we think with this happening, it should, just cement over some of the other irritants and stuff like that. And I think we should everybody just look at this glass half full and just go ahead and try to make this work for everybody.
You mentioned irritants. What would some of those irritants be? For example, it's been in the news media that Indian officials are not pleased when Canadian officials speak out in support of Indian farmers who've been protesting against the government, Mr. Thomas.
Yeah. Now, again, we're an apolitical body, the
Right.
Indo-Canada Chamber of Commerce, and so I wouldn't like to comment on specific instances of things happening, but we support the government on both sides. We support the Indian government and we support the Canadian government on everything. And in this particular case, we really wholeheartedly support both Prime Minister Trudeau and Prime Minister Modi for reaching to each other and getting this done. And I think the message from right at the top is we're going to work together, and whatever it was in the past is in the past, and we're going to work together to make this happen. So I think that's how we should approach this. And I think that's as the Indo-Canada Chamber of Commerce, we wholeheartedly support both governments for having taken this step, and we would really encourage everybody to look at it very positively and try to make that look at it looking forward. Making sure that at the highest level there seems to be a lot of positivity and the want to do things together.
Well, Mr. Thomas, a great pleasure to speak to you this morning, sir. I hope we can call upon you again.
Absolutely. Nice.
Thank you so much.
Well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice one.
Vijay Thomas is the president of the Indo-Canadian Chamber of Commerce.